Diabetes is a long-lasting health condition that affects how your body turns food into energy. Hello, I'm Jerron Stevenson.
And I'm Ray Cakes. Welcome to Help Hands. On today's show, we'll learn about South Carolina Youth Diabetes Association 9th Annual Softball Game.
Then we'll hear about how this all got started and how you can get involved. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with Helping Hands.
Hey, Grant, what you doing at the bus depot?
I gotta go someplace where I can get everything I love. Internet with 1 gig speeds, a home security system, a whole home DVR with thousands of shows on demand.
Wait, all those things that you love, I know people right here who can get you all of it.
Internet, TV, security, and phone. Get it all with Compori, your friendly neighborhood tech giant.
Over 200,000 people under the age of 20 have type 1 diabetes. Here to discuss the 9th annual event is event coordinator Matthew Scott. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So, what is SCYDA and how did it get started?
So SCYDA means the South Carolina Youth Diabetes Association. It got started back in 2014 as an effort to help kids with type 1 diabetes, in South Carolina, North Carolina, and the Georgia areas, where as a newer opportunity just to be an outreach for those who may learn, suffer with diabetes or might be finding that out for the first time as well. So, like I said, it was started through a group of people such as Dr. Chris Howe, who's the chairman of the organization, and other board members such as my mother, Tracy Scott, who's a diabetic educator, being a parent of a kid with diabetes, it was a way to try to help those out.
Okay.
Who had the idea of the softball game fundraiser and how did it begin?
Well, granted, being 24, the idea came about through me, back when the discussions about this organization first came about. It was, I don't know, it was something about, for the longest time, I thought I had dreams of being this big-time athlete.
Yeah.
But as they say, one door closes, another one opens. Mm-hmm. And I just remember taking that look over, and I just said, hey, let me run with this softball game. I've always wanted to run one and, have my own little event to help, those who suffer with diabetes just like me. Mm-hmm. And, like I said, that started back in 2014. It was the kickoff, I guess you can say, and it's the main fundraiser for this organization to this day and time, actually, where all the proceeds we raise help these kids with type 1 diabetes, and those kids can actually go to Camp Sweet Escape, the organization's summer camp for kids with type 1 diabetes, at a lower cost. They can learn how to take better care of their diabetes and things like that.
Yeah, like, do you have, like, how you had, like, you say it started in, like, 2014? Has more people been coming each year, or, like?
I'm going to sound humble when I say this, but I'm thankfully, yes, because it's, a lot of people have gotten involved with the camps, and especially the softball event through the softball aspect of it, former athletes and current athletes who went and played, South Carolina, Clemson.
So they come back.
Pretty much, and it's an interesting way to look at it when you see those returning names. You feel like to me, I feel like I'm doing something, I guess you could say good, or I'm putting out a good product, because I try to put a good event on for anybody who comes out and watch.
That's cool.
What are some of the events that take place during the game?
Well, we got the kids' kickball game that usually starts out the day, where if anybody wants to come out and play a little kickball, have fun, I encourage those to come do so. Then we got the home run derbies, men and women's home run derby contest, where the winners will get a handmade, as I like to call it, handmade championship belt, where kind of like the old wrestling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was started back in, that idea came about 2016. You know, the more participants show up for that, the more they want to win that belt. You know, it's kind of gives you that feeling to play for, you know what I mean? And especially having the group that's involved for this year's contest, I'm excited to see who takes home the belts.
Yeah.
Okay. When and where does the event take place?
The event will take place this Saturday, October 15th from 1 to 7 right here in Lancaster at Doomsday Corner, home of the Lancaster Bruins baseball team. You know, I'm excited to have it back here in the area, being from Kershaw. Yeah. You know, having that home, that local feeling means a lot.
Right. How do you go about finding these players for the team?
You know, every time I get that question asked to me, it's interesting to see because, you know, it's always through social media. And the longer I've gone about doing this, you know, the old way to say is recruiting. You know, just message guys saying, hey, I'd like to have you involved with this event that we put on. You know, this is what we do and things like that. And it's always interesting to see because, you know, you never know who's going to respond because especially you got guys like I got on the table here, coaches Shane Beamer and Dabo Sweeney, where they want to show their support. Yeah. You know, things like that. It may seem like the small things, but at the end of the day, it helps what we're trying to do. Yeah.
So you said the coaches are coming?
No, I wish. Oh. But no, you know, they usually show their support, granted being we played our event during football season. You know, I usually try to reach out and just like, you know, make a request per se, like saying, hey, could you sign this for this charity and things like that. Okay. And it's always interesting to see because, you know, that's another interesting aspect of it because if somebody tells me they can't make it but they still want to support, you know, such as two coaches here, they want to show their support. You know, at the end of the day, I'm grateful. Yeah.
Who are some participants that you have lined up?
Well, we got former Clemson softball star Ainsley Gilstrap. I'm excited to have her for the first time. I've been telling a lot of people lately that the women's side of the participants, this is probably the best group I've had on that side since probably in about a year or two. We got other Lancaster County names such as Delmar Patterson. You know, Coach Patterson is well respected around here in Lancaster County. I'm excited to have him. Herm Winningham, former outfielder for the 1990 Cincinnati Reds World Series team. We're always excited to have him. He's entertaining, I guess you could say, because he always interacts with those who comes out and, you know, makes everybody feel comfortable per se.
Gosh, hold on. Is it like, okay, so when you say girls softball, is it like the hoop pitching, or is it like
it is slow pitch softball, yeah, because like you know both guys and girls play in this obviously, and you know yours truly here sometimes takes one that you know that old swing, I guess you could say, make sure I still got it per se, not to try to sound like I have an ego, but you know like to answer your question, it is slow pitch, and it's always interesting to see, you know, the guys and girls really try to get a hold of the softball.
How has this camp affected the kids' lives to go to it?
You know, this camp, the Camp Sweetscape, it's affected a lot of kids in amazing ways because I've been a counselor, you know, because we have, you know, there's staff on site to help these kids and things like that. You know, I had kids say to me one time where they felt singled out, like they were the only diabetics at the school. And when they come to this camp, they don't feel alone. And that's one thing we take pride in is where, you know, hey, you're not alone. There's other kids who suffer with diabetes, but at the end of the day, it's like my dad would tell those. You know, you could either waller in it and, you know, give up, or you can make the most out of it because, you know, I've been diabetic personally for 17 years, and, you know, it's definitely interesting to see how far I've been able to make this a platform.
What is Camp Sweet Escape?
Camp Sweet Escape, you know, like I mentioned earlier, it's the organization's camp for kids with type 1 diabetes. You know, we have kids come all over the place from the south. You know, we have our locations in the Greenville area up in the mountains where it's a summer camp facility where they can, you know, have, you know, the fun that they would have during the summertime, you know, go swim in the pool, eat snacks, hang out with friends, and make friends especially. You know, it's where, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, going back to what I said earlier, knowing that you're not the only one and you can have that bond with somebody else, it means a lot.
Right. It's like you can kind of relate to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
How important is it to have this game hosted at Doomsday Corner?
You know, like, it's important to me because being from Lancaster County area, and I feel like having it in the area is special to me because I'd love to see it packed, you know, a full crowd. And especially as some of our help has gotten a little bit older, we want to make it easier on them to travel and things such as that. But, you know, to sum it all up, you know, having it back in the area, it's exciting because, you know, having that community support through sponsorships and, you know, friends and family come out, it's definitely amazing. And all I can say is I'm looking forward to it because, you know, there's a great list of guys and girls coming out this Saturday. And, you know, like I said, the auction items I got displayed here, you know, all the proceeds go to helping those kids at the end of the day.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Next, we'll learn about the planning and future of the SCYDA, so stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Carter Osterhaus from HGTV, here with some tips on heating your home comfortably and responsibly, starting with your heating system. Even on the coldest days, nothing keeps your home warm and cozy like a high-efficiency, Energy Star qualified natural gas furnace. You can actually feel how warm the air is, and that's because a gas furnace delivers air that's up to 25 degrees warmer than the air from a heat pump, and you'll have warmer air inside and cleaner air outside.
There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to plan an event like this, and it can have a long-lasting impact. Here to tell us more about the event is event coordinator Matthew Scott. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, guys.
What are some of the auction items that you have this year?
Well, we got a couple things here, such as Coach Dabo Sweeney's signed mini helmet.
Yeah.
You know, Coach Sweeney is a proud supporter of the South Carolina Youth Diabetes Association, and then we got a signed helmet by both Spencer Rattler and Coach Shane Beamer up at USC. I know the Gamecocks aren't quite the talk of the town right now, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's the support that matters. And then especially for any Atlanta Braves fans out there, we got a signed photo by both stars, Dansby Swanson and Ozzie Albies. This is something, personally, being a Braves guy especially, is something I'm kind of excited to see how that will go over. Then there's some other cool auction items, like we'll actually have a gas grill up for auction, some smaller things, you know, mystery ball raffle where you can find signed baseballs by Marcus Lattimore, George Rogers, and other baseball stars. But there's a lot of things out there, you know, sports related and stuff you can take back to the house too, especially.
Right. And you know how much those will be worth, or you just?
Oh gosh. I don't know how much I can say they'll be worth, but hopefully, as long as they go home with somebody on Saturday night and they help us raise the money, that's the main thing.
This Gamecock one, depending on how well he plays, right?
That's it, because deep down I just want to say, like, sometimes it depends on how Rattler plays, but I think it doesn't matter because, you know, like I said, it's for the cause.
Yeah, gotcha.
What is the biggest auction item that you've had in 9 years?
That's tough. Because there's been a lot of good stuff I've come across over the years, you know, from stuff like this right here to I think one thing that comes to mind was last year we had a signed figurine of the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And then there's some other cool, we've had a lot of cool sports stuff over the years, some tickets to the MLB Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, signed baseballs from, or I should say signed items from, people you wouldn't expect to hear from.
Yeah.
So it's definitely amazing to see.
Who are some of the people that help you in getting ready for the event?
Well, truth be told, it's as the old saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child, because a lot of it comes through family of mine, or my family. My mom, my dad, they've helped me through this since pretty much day one, and me and my dad, we run the roads from, Lord knows, Columbia to Charlotte to Myrtle Beach, just to go promote, because we even, one time, I'm just going to throw this little quick story out there. We went to Gastonia one time at the ballpark up there to try to promote the Magic Johnson, NBA legend, and we ended up, I made the most of it, because granted I did get to see Magic Johnson. There was a news outlet out of Charlotte there, and I walked over there, I talked to the lady, and I'm just like, hey, this event's going on in Lancaster, and I knew the lady was from the Charlotte stations, because we noticed the camera name or whatever. And the lady ended up telling me, it's like, hey, we'll make plans for this. We'll come out and, check us out. And that's one of the things where I think always have a chance to tell your story, make the most of it, Tell a story, because you never know who will listen, because it can go a long way.
How long in advance do you start in planning?
Man, I've gotten worse about it over the years, and I say it in a good way, because
Like you start procrastinating, or?
I wouldn't say procrastinating, because I might be guilty about where, say, once this weekend comes and goes,
Yeah.
I give it about maybe Christmas or New Year's to start looking around at dates and venues.
And start
things
planning the
like,
next one?
pretty much.
Yeah. How can people find more information on Camp Sweet Escape?
You can go to the website at campsweetescape.com. There is a donation tab on there too for anybody out there who would like to donate $1, $5, or whatever it may be, because as you'll scroll through the website, you'll see who you're helping, and the kids, the pictures of the kids having a time of their life at camp. It shows why I do this personally, and especially why we at Scyda are trying to do what we're trying to do.
If people want to get help, how can they get involved?
If people want to come help, like I said, reach out through us on the Camp Sweetscape Facebook page. That we always look for volunteers to come help out at the camp. The softball game, reach out through us on the social media points, or if you know me personally, just for anybody who may watch this, they can definitely reach out to me. We always try to take as much help as we can get. It's, at the end of the day, we're grateful for anybody who does come and help.
Yeah. How do you decide who plays on the team?
It's weird, because people ask me this, because I usually, when I reach out to these guys and girls on social media, it's basically like an invite, kind of like an all-star game sort of thing. And what we usually do is like any sports league would, a draft. Me and Palmer Hudson, HR Rucker, and like JV baseball coach, we pick teams and we kind of sit back, chit chat, and have fun with it. And then come game day, we see who has the better team.
Right. Is there how can I say, like walk-ons?
There has been some walk-ons, yeah, because it kind of like the old saying goes, it is subject to change as far as like the group of players coming out, and it's always a open door, kind of like welcome anybody who wants to come play and show up. And, if anybody, especially like the kind of going back to earlier when we talked about the kickball game, the kids kickball game, we did that as a opportunity for kids to come be involved, and especially not get hurt, because
right.
when you have a little kid and a guy who's about this tall and bigger than
Playing softball against each
yeah,
other.
I'd say we don't want to take that chance. But those guys and girls are grateful and gracious enough to come play, hang out with kids, interact with kids, and because we, as I've said to people involved, it's always amazing to see, how those guys and girls respond to whenever they come to an event like this, because it shows their character.
Right. Tell us more about the softball game. Like the time and when and where it takes place.
Okay, like I said, Saturday, October 15th, right here in Doomsday Corner, Lancaster, South Carolina, from 1 to 7. We'll have kids kickball at 1 o'clock. And when I say kids kickball, anybody can come play. So, heck, if y'all boys want to come play, I got the welcome mat out for y'all. We'll have food trucks on site, auction items, all proceeds from the food trucks and, auction table. And we'll also have admission, $5 at the gate, cash or card. We'll welcome anybody who wants to come watch us. Hopefully, I get to see a full crowd at Doomsday Corner on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And, first pitch is at 5 o'clock. I'm excited, especially, I think going back to one of the questions you had earlier about playing here in Lancaster, having that night game feeling.
Yeah.
It gives you a whole different kind of feeling because, being a once old baseball player, it's always a fun feeling to see those lights come on. It's about to be a big-time atmosphere.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
We'd like to thank all of our guests and viewers for supporting us as we strive for a better community through Helping Hands. If you have any comments or suggestions, contact us at learn.tv@lcsd.k12.us. You can also find our content on Vimeo and YouTube. Just search Learn TV Lancaster. For Ray Case, I'm Deron Simpson. Remember, we were all given a pair of helping hands.
One strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes, you out. Better get yourself together, time is running out. 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes, you out. Being saved by the spirits, what we about? You caught me on my swing, but I bunted. Home run, only win. There's no stunting, I'm signed to the Most High. No rubble, still skin. I was born to sin, death is the end. We all kin. Language couldn't be life without the pen. You either brought your paper or striking out and back.